Canned soup is an obvious ingredient for decadent mac and cheese. But soupy pizza? Believe it or not, these hacks make for some delicious meals. Whether you make mac and cheese from scratch, following a favorite family recipe, or you simply pop open a box and follow the printed directions, it's time to consider throwing canned soup into the mix. The benchmark of any good plate of mac and cheese is its ooey gooey creaminess, and sometimes cheese and cream alone won't get you there. When you really want that indulgent and satisfying richness that makes mac and cheese such a classic comfort food, canned soup can be just what your recipe is lacking. You can use cream of mushroom soup for an umami-packed plate of mac, or cream of chicken for a more savory and fulfilling mac and cheese that eats like a main course. Or for a full-on cheese explosion, consider a can of your favorite cheddar cheese soup. Whichever soup you pick, adding it to your recipe couldn't be easier. Just prepare your macaroni like normal. Then, while it cooks, combine your cheese sauce ingredients in a saucepan over low heat. Recipes will vary, but likely include some combination of milk, shredded cheese, and spices, or perhaps a pouch of liquid cheese or powdered cheese. Once you have these standard ingredients in your saucepan, add anywhere from half to 1 full can of the canned soup of your choice. Stir everything until smooth and creamy, then mix in your cooked, drained macaroni and serve. There's nothing like starting your day with a plate of warm, fluffy scrambled eggs. You can amp up their flavor with additions like fresh herbs, smoked salmon, sun-dried tomatoes, feta, and spinach. But if you want scrambled eggs with layers of added flavor, wonderful creamy moisture, and a unique twist, consider adding some canned soup to your recipe. Cream of asparagus soup is a great option. Simply whisk 1/4 cup of the soup with 4 eggs and then scramble like normal, stirring regularly until the eggs are fluffy and golden and have just begun to set. Pair the eggs with some freshly steamed asparagus if it's in season. You can also use frozen. Tomato basil soup is another exciting option to add wonderful flavor and variety to scrambled eggs. Again, just whisk 1/4 cup of the soup with 4 eggs and cook as normal. Or consider cream of spinach or even cream of potato for eggs that will taste like a breakfast hash. A good stir-fry doesn't always have to be drowning in soy sauce, fish sauce, or a tangy sweet teriyaki. You can make all sorts of amazing cream-based stir-fries, and canned soup is the ideal ingredient to get any of these recipes started. Canned soup lets you infuse your stir-fry with a variety of rich and diverse flavors without the need for a ton of extra seasoning. It makes a wonderful base for your stir-fry sauce and can even act as a thickener as your stir-fry cooks, ensuring every bite of your meal is covered with rich, velvety goodness. For a stir-fry containing beef, chicken, or tofu, plus assorted stir-fry vegetables like bell peppers, broccoli, and snap peas, consider using a can of cream of mushroom soup as your secret ingredient. First, stir-fry your protein until browned and almost ready to serve. Remove it from the wok, set aside, and next cook your veggies. Then, just as they're getting close to done, add your protein back into the wok. And then, add anywhere from half to 1 full can of soup, plus a splash of soy sauce. Keep stirring everything until it's well coated and heated through, and then serve either alone or over cooked rice or noodles. You can follow the same steps and use other soups too, including canned hot and sour soup, canned red curry, or even canned Thai curry.
Your fettuccine Alfredo looks a little dry. Did you use all your cheese?
Pasta and Alfredo sauce is a legendary pairing, but sometimes even the best Alfredo sauce can seem a little bland. When you want to try something new or different, canned soup can be just what you've been looking for. Cream of broccoli soup, cream of tomato, cream of mushroom, and cream of spinach are all great options for any pre-made or homemade Alfredo sauce. Simply stir in as little or as much of the soup as you'd like. Add it as you heat the sauce, but before you combine it with your pasta. Stir the soup and Alfredo until the two are well combined and heated through, and then add your cooked pasta, tossing it until well coated. Top with some fresh herbs and freshly ground pepper or cheese and serve while still hot. Your family and friends will love it. Whether you enjoy it over a bed of egg noodles, mashed potatoes, tender rice, or just with meat, Stroganoff is another wonderful classic comfort food made even better with the addition of canned soup. The dish typically includes sautéed beef cubes bathed in a mustard and sour cream sauce. But if you're short on time or just looking for ways to add extra flavor and creaminess to the dish, your recipe should also include some pre-made soup. Cream of mushroom is a good option for any stroganoff that includes sautéed mushrooms. The soup adds even more savory, umami flavor to the dish and amplifies the natural punch the mushrooms are already providing. You could also use a cream of chicken soup to increase the meatiness and savoriness of a chicken or beef-based stroganoff. And for plant-based recipes featuring tofu or other meat substitutes, consider cream of spinach or cream of asparagus soup to pack even more garden vegetable flavor into your creamy sauce. Whatever recipe you use and whatever soup you decide to feature, just add anywhere from half to 1 full can of the soup to your cream sauce as you prepare it. Then add your already cooked meat into the dish, heat until warm, and serve.
Meatloaf, double meatloaf. I hate meatloaf.
One of the best things about meatloaf is its decadent gravy. In either case, canned soup is the ideal ingredient to use in this delicious dish. Everybody has a favorite meatloaf recipe. Stick with the one you love and make it as directed until it gets to any final steps involving toppings. Press the ground meatloaf mixture into your loaf pan and shape as you would normally. Then, simply pour the canned soup over the top of the meat. You can use French onion soup, cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, or even tomato. If the soup is especially thick coming out of the can, add water as needed to dilute so that it pours evenly over the top of the entire meatloaf. Finally, bake the meatloaf as your original recipe dictates. Depending on the size and thickness of your loaf, you may need to add 5 to 10 minutes of cooking time. If you're in doubt, grab a meat thermometer. You'll know it's done when the center of the loaf has reached an internal temperature of at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Homemade risotto is the kiss of death on almost any cooking show. It generally leads to a contestant's elimination, but maybe that's because those chef-testants aren't using canned soup as part of their risotto recipe. For instance, you can make an incredible chicken risotto using cream of chicken soup. To get started, sauté half a cup of chopped onions and 2 cloves of minced garlic until tender and translucent. Next, add 1 cup of arborio rice to the pan. Quickly follow that rice with 1 full can of cream of chicken soup, stirring continuously to work the soup into the rice and onion mixture. As the rice absorbs the soup, begin adding the chicken broth, half a cup at a time, and continue to stir. The total amount of broth needed will vary, but you will likely need around 3 cups. Finally, when you've added all the broth necessary to the rice, stir in 1 cup of chopped cooked chicken, plus herbs like fresh thyme to taste. Continue to cook and stir the risotto until it appears creamy and the rice is al dente. Once the risotto reaches your desired consistency, remove it from the stove, garnish with grated Parmesan cheese, and serve. In addition to cream of chicken, you might also use cream of asparagus, broccoli, spinach, potato, or even tomato basil soup. All are excellent options for a mouth-watering DIY risotto.
Of course we have pizza!
Mr. Kraft, we don't serve pizza.
As strange as it may sound, canned soup is an ideal way to save time while also adding depth and complexity to your pizza sauce. And of course, soups also add moisture and creaminess to pizza, preventing it from becoming too dry as it bakes. To use any canned soup on homemade pizza, prepare your pizza crust, then spread 1 entire can of soup on top, just like you would with marinara or any other traditional pizza sauce. With your soup in place, you can then add cheese, meats, and other toppings as normal. Then bake to crisp and golden perfection. For a traditional pie, consider pairing condensed cream of tomato soup with grated mozzarella, sliced bell peppers, and cooked Italian sausage. Or for something less conventional, combine cream of mushroom soup with sliced mushrooms, caramelized onions, Parmesan, and crumbled bacon. You can even make an exotic clam chowder pizza. All you need is 1 can of canned clam chowder, 1 can of drained canned clams, sautéed onions and bell peppers, and some shredded cheddar cheese. Holiday stuffings are another wonderful place to put canned soups to use. And if you aren't cooking your stuffing in the bird, or you worry about it turning out too dry, this is an especially good option. As far as soup options, cream of mushroom and cream of chicken are superb choices. But you could also use cheddar cheese soup, butternut squash soup, wild mushroom soup, pumpkin soup, sweet potato soup, or even Thai coconut soup. To add canned soup to any stuffing, simply follow your favorite standard recipe. When making this dish, it's common to use chicken stock or vegetable stock. However, in our version, this is where you'll make your substitution. Cut that amount of liquid in half and add your can of soup instead. Then, if the stuffing still seems dry, or you're having problems working an especially thick and condensed soup into the mix, gradually add a bit of the liquid you cut from the recipe. Continue adding it little by little until you reach your desired consistency. Then, bake the stuffing mixture according to your original recipe. When making spaghetti in a hurry, your first instinct might be to reach for a bottle of pre-made sauce. But did you know that canned soups are just as quick and tasty, not to mention a whole lot more versatile? To make a classic marinara, simply combine 1 can of condensed tomato soup with anywhere from a half to 1 full can of diced tomatoes. Pour this mixture over browned ground beef or turkey, add onions, garlic, and other Italian seasonings to taste, and voila! Hearty, thick, and rich pasta sauce. You can follow a similar method for a cream-based sauce. Just brown or sauté some ground meat, fresh mushrooms, onions, garlic, and stir in a can of cream of mushroom soup along with herbs like thyme or basil. Let the mixture simmer until heated through and then combine with or pour over cooked spaghetti. And if you like seafood, you can even use canned clam chowder to make spaghetti and clams. Simply combine 1 can of clam chowder with half a cup of heavy cream, some grated Parmesan cheese, and 1 can of minced clams. Heat until warm and then serve over cooked spaghetti.
I hope she made lots of spaghetti.
Whether you love those cheap packages of dried ramen that college students thrive on, or you prefer a more refined and elevated bowl of ramen with all the classic ingredients, remember this. Every bowl of ramen is made better with the addition of canned soup. Making chicken ramen? Combine cream of chicken soup with the broth base from your packet of ramen noodles and heat until warm. Then add your noodles and let simmer until soft. For added flavor, you can even toss in herbs like star anise, lemongrass, or makrut lime leaves. If you're going all out, put in some slices of cooked rotisserie chicken to round out this incredible DIY meal. Don't limit your creativity to meat-based ramen dishes. A can of tomato soup and a bit of cream of coconut milk make an excellent base for a decadent tomato basil ramen. You can even add fresh basil leaves, a pinch of red pepper flakes, and cooked shrimp or tofu. Or make a miso corn chowder ramen. Simply combine canned corn chowder, miso broth or miso paste, and your favorite ramen noodles. Round out the dish with a few strips of nori and freshly toasted sesame seeds. With meals this good, just a can of soup and a few other favorite ingredients away, who needs takeout?